Hello everyone, welcome to our off-grid home here in Scotland. It's a cabin completely made of wood that we have built ourselves, and we came here about 7 years ago, and we've been full-time off-grid in our hut for about 6 years, and we're not here all year round. We do go away. I'm from England originally, so I go to England several times a year, and we also take out our dogs on camping trips and get away in our motorhome when we can. So when we are here, we've got lots of daily chores or tasks to do at the hut, to keep everything running and to keep everything going. So I'm going to tell you a bit about what we've been up to already today. So right now I'm in my favourite room in the house that John built for me, really, from scratch. It's the kitchen, and I've always wanted a cottage style kitchen, so we bought cupboards from Facebook Marketplace, actually all the way from England, and drove them up here. So that's a reused kitchen, what you see, and then the oak worktops, they are just absolutely beautiful. We spent a bit of money on that, but John installed them all himself. The stove behind us, again, another Facebook Marketplace find, brought up from England. It's a traditional old sort of, I call it like a granny cooker, like something I would have seen in my granny's house, something sort of 1950s, 1960s-esque, but it's been converted, and it's running on a bottled gas. And so we've got gas cooker, gas hob, and the kettle I use was actually my granny's kettle, copper kettle, for their 50th wedding anniversary. My mum and dad got one bought for them, and it's actually our daily kettle here. We don't use any appliances that use a lot of electricity, so a kettle is definitely one of them that uses such a huge surge of energy to just fast boil your water for a cup of tea. So we are slow boiling, but it's actually really nice because when the kettle boils, the kettle whistles, and it's just something really nice. But it also slows you down in the fact that you've got to kind of think, right, I need to boil some water, I've got to put the gas cooker on, I've got to wait for the kettle to boil, and it's just really nice. I actually really do miss using my copper whistling kettle when I'm not here, so I know that much. Right now I've been making a cake. My partner John is out, so I find it really therapeutic having the kitchen to myself and listening to some music or podcast, making a cup of tea. And then I decided, we've got some really old ripe bananas, I'm going to make a banana cake. So I've just checked it after the 30-minute mark in the oven with a skewer. It's coming out a little bit of cake mixture still, so I've got the timer on, which is one of our other trusty tools in the kitchen, to tell me to check it again and remind me to check the cake again. What else can I tell you? So this morning, John has a really good routine in the morning. I struggle in the mornings for health reasons, for mental health reasons. So he got us out of bed, and we went and took our dogs on a long walk, probably about a 6-mile walk this morning. And that's just really set us all up, the dogs and us included, up for the day. The dogs are absolutely knackered. They're currently on the sofas in the lounge. And it was just a beautiful walk. We saw 2 people on the whole walk. We saw 2 deer though, more importantly, on the walk. And it was just a lovely morning. Little bit of drizzly rain, but nothing unexpected in the southwest of Scotland in summer. So when we got back, we had cups of tea. We're both doing a fasting, overnight fasting and morning fasting, so we don't eat anything. We haven't eaten yet. and it's about lunchtime now, and we will eat soon. So yeah, cups of tea with full fat Scottish gold top milk. Actually, apparently much better for you. So I'm on my third cup of tea here, and absolutely loving it. So what other things have we done this morning? So when we got back from our walk, we actually went into the garden to drink our first cup of tea of the day, and just sitting in the garden with the dogs, on the decking actually of our shed. The shed you will hear lots about. There will be probably a whole story about the shed and what's happening with the shed. But yeah, we sat on the decking and just chatted, and it's just lovely being outside. You can hear the birds song. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then our neighbour popped through shouted over the fence, and John and him have now gone out to do bits and bobs of shopping and things they need to buy for maintaining this place. I then came in and swept the floor. So that is a daily task at the hut. Sweeping the floor we've got two quite large dogs, so lots of dirt and bits come in anyway from the dogs, but also from us, and also just from the fact that we have a porch and we open the door and kind of sit on the porch or have the door open when we're in and out of the garden. So things get blown in, and it needs sweeping every day really. So that's been one task that I've done. I've also cleaned out the fire. So we have a mixed wood and coal burner, mixed fuel burner, which is really handy. I'd recommend not, having a mixed one, so you've got an option to do both. So we use coal because it generates a really nice heat and it gives a good base for the fire, and we get that delivered here to the hut about once a month, and we buy huge large bags of coal, and then we top it up with kindling and wood and everything. So yeah, I've just cleaned out the ash from the fire, and then I've took the ash onto our compost heap at the back garden. We would sometimes be putting on the fire, even though it's summer, we'd be putting the fire on, but actually I'm not feeling a chill today. Right, that's my timer for the banana cake, so let's see what's happening with this banana cake. Right. Yeah, that's coming out clean. So I'm gonna take that out and turn the oven off, and then I wait about 5 or 10 minutes before I take it out of the tin. So otherwise it wouldn't have cooled down enough. So yeah. Clean out the fire. I've been checking the solar or electricity levels from the solar panels that we've got set up. I've been checking a monitor we've got in the corridor of the hut. It's not perfect, it's not accurate from reading, so we sometimes need to go outside to the inverter and see the controls and display on the inverters. But we've got a tiny little bit of sunlight coming through the clouds and the rain today, so so far we've been okay with the energy and not had to turn the generator on. But at some point today we will be topping up the power supply because of the lack of solar and sunshine here in Scotland with our fueled Honda suitcase kind of style generator. We've had a few generators. That's also going to be probably a story in itself and a description about the saga of all the generators, but this one is really good because we don't have to pull a cord to start it. We now have a choke that I pull out, and we just turn a dial to the right, let it start, and then the trait goes back in, and it just starts just like that, just like magic. We also don't move the generator around anymore. We used to like carry it in and out of the hut and move it around and all kinds of things because we needed it access to the front of the building or wherever we were doing things with power tools. But now we've got it set up right at the back garden and housed in a wooden kind of box to contain the sound. The sound actually is a lot lower on this generator anyway. And again, another find secondhand from Facebook Marketplace, all the way from Wales. So that was quite a trip for John to go all the way to Wales and then bring the generator back. But it saved us literally hundreds and hundreds of pounds by buying it, and even the fuel cost to go to Wales and back. So it's absolutely brilliant, and that's got a really good amount of power. And if we're doing something that needs a lot of power, so sometimes we might hoover, then we need to then plug in the generator for the power, for extra power for using basically a high energy consumption device like a hoover basically. And then today I've really focused on looking after myself, some self-care. So we've got a way to wash here and everything, but we don't do it as regular because we are in the countryside and you're in and out, and you know, you don't focus on, you know, I need to look great for going in to meet my friends or to go into an office or whatever. So when we're here, we're living a bit more relaxed and comfy clothes, warm clothes, waterproof clothes, dog walking clothes, whatever, gardening clothes. So today actually I thought I'm going to treat myself and wash my hair. So I've actually washed my hair. I'm letting it air dry because again, it's not that cold today, but sometimes we would, well, quite a lot of the time we would start the fire. So then after I've had a shower and washed my hair, I'm basically drip drying it, like drying it in front of the actual fire. And oh my God, I've never seen my hair look so beautiful actually, and just drying naturally in front of the fire. But yeah, today I'm letting it dry on its own. So yeah, I've got clean, which is really great, and my hair's been washed, so that'll last me a few days now. And that's really it. That's where I've got to. So I really wanted to show you some of the setup in our kitchen, and what I might do is just stop talking and then show you a bit in terms of what's in the kitchen and what we've got set up right now. And then there's things that are in flux because we've got to get them fixed, but I'll show you a bit about what's happening in here. While drinking my tea, very important. You'll see tea featured a lot too. So yeah, right. So let's show you a bit what's happening in here. So this is a plate rack. Actually, quite a few Scottish people have not ever seen a plate rack and asked me about it. It must. I did look it up. Actually, it's like an English country style thing to do. Actually, the plate rack needs fixing, so there's no plates in it right now. The bottom fell out. We used it that much, so John's got that on his list of many things to do. So that's one project he's going to do. We've got a table that we acquired here that actually was a much larger table, and John cut it down and it sort of fitted in there. And these country chairs that we've got were actually again from England, from Facebook. Rusty's come to help me. That's one of the dogs, wee Rusty. I love tea. I mentioned that I think already about I don't know how many times. So yeah, you'll see all our teapots along the top. John got this again secondhand from Facebook Marketplace for free. So this beautiful dresser with this glass kind of frontage and everything. Yeah, free. So he cut off, I think, part of it to put it up on the wall. And what happened actually, it was free because someone collected the bottom half of the dresser and didn't want the top half. And we were like, oh, brilliant. So yeah, it's just if you're handy, I guess we've got John that's quite handy. He's a carpenter and a builder. I like doing things, but I'm probably more like the crafty person and the organizer and the cup of tea maker. So yeah, we've got these old shelves here were made actually with wood from the original flooring of the cabin. So it's got my cookbooks and rice and lentils, pasta, and then this mixer, cake mixer and bread mixer and all mixer. Actually, it's something John had, but it's an original 1950s Kenwood mixer. Just such a good bit of kit. We love it. Johnny's nuts need filling up. Those are the walnuts we have on the porridge. That in front of the nuts are the marrow defrosting for a treat for the dogs. We've got a bread bin there, but the bread bin, every time the bread goes in there, it comes out mouldy. So we just can't use it. This kitchen can get quite sunny through the window there. That's a lovely view into the garden. So just show you that. And just trees surrounded everywhere around us. So yeah, and we've got more sort of just practical storage for spices and condiments, porridge up the top there. These lovely saucepans, copper saucepans, and then my baking equipment, present years ago from one of my brothers that I really cherish. So cereal containers, everything. We've got plugs for charging up bits and bobs. There is the banana cake. It is looking a bit sunken, but it'll still be edible. It'll be all good. And then we've got sort of a work surface there where we do all our cutting, and we've got a great knife rack. And here is my trusty timer. I'm going to show you this strawberry kind of timer with a magnet onto our fridge. We have got a fridge. It's a normal electricity run fridge. We turn it off every night. We can't run it 24/7, so that just tells you about the power and the power consumption that a fridge freezer actually takes. But we've got a fridge freezer. It's quite unusual for these huts in Scotland to have a proper working fridge. When we moved into the hut and we set things up, we just bought things from like a normal house, and that was just, we didn't know sort of any difference. We've got some move the chair. We've got some more hanging there, carrier bag holder I made, my granny's washboard, original washboard. We do store a lot of tins and different food, but we're actually at the moment working on doing a lot more eating from scratch and that sort of thing. So yeah, we've got like spices. Oh, this actual cabinet again, another Facebook Marketplace, but over from Edinburgh way. So it's this 1950s style like cabinet. Actually, my grandmother in England, she had one quite similar. We've got bags of birdseed there. We used to keep the birdseed outside. Yeah, the mice love birdseed. So yeah, that's the kitchen pretty much. I've rambled a bit there, but just like little things on the wall. This lovely little old witch that's just, or old lady, as you come through the door frame there. And then a couple of notice boards there where we might write what we need shopping list wise and reminders for an appointments or whatever. So yeah, that's basically the kitchen. Yeah. Thanks very much. I hope you've enjoyed this. Yeah, I've certainly enjoyed sort of talking to you about it and see what works and what's interesting to people, and go from there. Really, that's all we could do. Right, thank you. Bye.